Hi guys! So today I wanted to talk to you about time zones. And there's only two big reasons that I have for talking about them, but it makes a difference. So, so to get into it really quickly, if you don't know what a time zone is, the world is split up into 24 time zones. So if it's noon time in Chicago, it's 10 o'clock in California, it's 1 p.m. in New York, and it's 6 p.m. in London, so on and so forth. Pretty simple, but it's something people don't take into consideration when talking to your friends abroad or when chatting with someone who's 2 hours away from you or when setting up an interview. Let's say you wanted to work for an online company and they want to interview you at 6 p.m. Does that mean you have to you have to be ready at 8 a.m., p.m.? You have to be ready at 8 p.m.? Or does that mean that it's 6 p.m. your time, so that means it's 4 p.m. their time? It's like, that's one example. Another example would be, let's say your friend's studying abroad and she's 7 hours away from you, time zone-wise. 2,000 miles away from you, literally. Anyway, so she's studying abroad. You want to text her just to be like, hey, I love you, I miss you, blah, 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 let's talk. She might understand that you didn't take in the 7-hour time difference into consideration. But I found personally that with the friends that really remembered what's going on or just tried to be a little bit more considerate, whether it was waiting until a decent hour for me or just saying, hey, I know it's like midnight over there, I just wanted to say hi, I love you, something like that. I really appreciated those friends because I felt like those friends, well, they were just really considerate, and considerations are wonderful unless it's over accommodation. That's another subject for another day. I'll talk about that at some point. So anyway, I personally find that when people are that, I don't need them to accommodate me all the time, but if I have friends who are like, hey, it's midnight for you, and even though I really want to keep talking to you, I want to also respect the fact that I know you go to bed around 11. So, talk to you later, it's been lovely. Those friends, they actually tend to be my friends far longer than the people who are like, oh wait, it's 4 a.m. over there? Oh, I didn't realize that. And then they like repeat the like, oh wait, it's 2 a.m., it's midnight, you're asleep? Why aren't you talking to me? You don't love me. It's like, love has nothing to do with time zones. Respect does. On the flip side, taking in time zones, it's not something people do on average. I talk to so many people who, they'll hear I'm from someplace 2,000 miles away, whatever. And they just don't realize the extent to how different it is. And time is one of the things we take for granted. It's like that Netflix show that's been on for ages. And you're like, it's always going to be around. I'll be always able to watch this. I don't need to, like, pay attention to it. And then all of a sudden Netflix says, that show is coming down in 10 days. Have fun, children. It's like, wait, what? Why? Mais pourquoi? Thank you, Poirot. So anyway, so if I were to sum this video up, simply put, people are going to forget time zones. So if you remember it, then the people who have to deal with them will appreciate it. And also, you'll make sure that you actually know when and what's going on. Interviews, texting people, all that jazz. It's just a considerate thing to do. And if you're the person who keeps time zones in mind, then other people keep it in mind, and then people just understand it's not, oh, this person doesn't love me, or oh, this person's just too busy to talk to me because they don't care. None of those excuses come in because they're like, oh my God, It's 4 a.m. Yeah, it's only 6 p.m. for me, but why should I expect someone to just be up at 4 a.m.? I mean, we have Do Not Disturb on our phones these days, after all. And I'm very guilty of, after a certain point, I'm like, I need to go to sleep regardless of how awake or sleepy I feel. So I just have to put my phone on Do Not Disturb and then just like toss it into the distance after it charges and just go to sleep. But yeah, so it's just another form of consideration that is very nice. Something people take for granted. Time is something we take for granted in general, but this version of time is just very nice. So, I ask you, the next time you're texting a friend and they're not in the same state or the same country, you don't have to censor yourself or say, oh, I shouldn't do this because it's 4 a.m. Just think, oh, they didn't immediately respond, they normally do. Let's think, what time is it over there? Oh my god, it's 6. This girl sleeps until noon. Why would she be up at 6? I mean, though, she could be that type of person to stay up at 6, go to sleep, then wake up at noon, et voila. But in any case, consider just noticing time zones. And if you know it's got bad timing or it's not perfect timing when you need to text someone or if you want to talk to them, if you put it in the message that you know something's like not right or it's very late, it's very early, it's fine if you don't respond immediately, I would really appreciate that. Can't speak for other people, but I would definitely appreciate that. And if you've been that type of friend to me in the past, I know I got you. Yes. So, if you have any time zone related things or any like, oh my god, that's so interesting, any comments, feel free to leave them in the comment box. If you liked my little, not rant, but not lecture, my little talk about the time zones, things like that, feel free to also comment about that. Feel free to like. You can even subscribe. I mean, I wouldn't mind that. But in any case, I hope you have a great day, and I hope that you just notice it the next time you come across a situation where time zones do come into effect.